Okay.いやいや、もう、いつでも講義は立ってやってるから。じゃあ、始めてください。ちょっと、いりません。知ってる。はい。はい、マテリアルは、ちょっと、どこ持ったかな私の分は。はい。それじゃあ、after enough recess, maybe I should like to start again. And at the beginning of restart, maybe I should like to ask Peruvian medical doctor. Peruvian. Who? Yeah, may I have your name? Henry. Henry, will you please raise your question? Ask your question. Will stand up and
it was more like a comment, right? I was just looking the graph you show us, and I understood that after Chisa company changed the catalyst, right? You know, all these problems start, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that started around 1955, 1956, right? And when they start producing this methyl mercury as a catalyst. Methyl mercury in the chemical reaction. Right? The point is why Chisa factory didn't do anything about that, because they knew already. They knew already at that time that mercury has serious implications on health public and health human bodies. And I'm saying that because around 1940 in United Kingdom there was an industrial accident. And,
1933.
Exactly. Right? And the Hunter-Russell syndrome was described at that time.
Yeah.
It's a neurologic syndrome and involving, of course, an organic mercury compound.
Yeah.
So at that time they knew already that this happened. They cannot say at this time, you know, that they ignored that syndrome described like 10 or 15 years before. It is because after all these problems explode, it was Chisa company that used as an argument, you know, using the criteria of this Hunter-Russell syndrome as a requirement to register all the victims as Minamata disease victims, right? In order to give them, you know, a compensation, an economical compensation, right? So with this, I'm saying that they didn't ignore that syndrome at that time, because it was described 15 years ago, as I'm saying, right? My question is why they didn't do anything about that. You mentioned something very interesting, that they were doubting that use mercury as a catalyst or not. And that's why they ordered, or they were doing some research. This doctor was working for Chisa company at that time. The doctor you mentioned, I don't remember.
I see.
Right? Hosokawa. Yeah, Dr. Hosokawa was doing this experiment with cats, and probably, you know, he didn't show to the, you know, medical community his results because of obvious reasons, right? Chisa company was a factory, and they pursue profits. This is normal. Right, so my understanding is that Chisa company just put profit over safeness, right? They knew already that something could happen, like it happened 15 years before in United Kingdom.
Okay, so, very good question. Very good question. Maybe some of you are going to visit Minamata shortly, but first thing, I'd like to comment. At that time, after about 10 years after Japan's defeat in the war, Minamata was a quite distant country, remote countryside, and very poor countryside, incredibly poor side. And Kumamoto University, Kumamoto University solely participated to investigate the matter, was also very poor university. I mean poor, that is, Japan was very poor at that time. In that sense, that you spoke about the paper report about Hunter and Russell, medical doctor in England. And this paper only available at Tokyo Imperial University at that time. And at that time, from Kumamoto is Kyoto, it's desperately long distance. And Kumamoto professor has scarcely come to Tokyo to see the paper at all. And what happened is, after it took almost 3 years to find out, to meet with Hunter Russell paper for Takeuchi sensei. He did everything. And what happened, I would like to say, at first, they thought, because you must learn toxicology. From symptoms, they suppose it must be some manganese, effect of manganese, or magnesium, not manganese. And after, in the second year, they considered it thallium. But after 1 year of examination, all assumptions are failed. And even at that time, there are a lot of disturbances arose. Disturbances came mostly from chemical professors of applied chemistry. Yeah, it is very important because they are on the side of factory, so that they declare especially Tokyo Institute of Technology, Tokyo Kodai, was very criminal in that sense. And Professor Kiyoura sensei testified that it is caused by explosives discharged during a war in Minamata Bay. And such disturbances could be very effective in those days. And because status of Kumamoto University was very low, that scientists was not believed. That was the status of it. And because of symptoms, they finally came to, after 3 years, they finally met with the paper of Hunter Russell, and Hunter Russell's symptoms, there are 8 symptoms they described. And yes, but most of them is accurately corresponded to few of 8 symptoms. So that after that, maybe adoption or agreement of 3 of 8 symptoms was recognized as patients of Hunter Russell disease. That is so you should first remember Japan was very poor, unconsiderably poor at that time. And discrepancy between central Japan and remote country is so wide so that they could do nothing at all. And Chisso itself didn't know. Of course, they could not imagine any chemical mechanism. Applied chemistry about catalytic reaction, organic catalytic reaction, was so low. Nothing was known about, especially action of metallic action of the organism, organic chemistry. That was the reason even Chisso didn't know it, and it was supported by criminal opinions. And you spoke about Hosokawa sensei, Hosokawa, medical doctor. He, of course, he did experiment using anchovy and feeding cat. And especially, he could cause Minamata disease using the sludge from rectification column, wastewater sludge, feeding sludge to cat. He could cause Minamata disease. He was convinced. But soon it was stopped. But of course you are right. If he is a scientist, he must report something as his duty as a scientist. But at that time, Japanese human relations was not such. Because Hosokawa sensei graduated from Tokyo University Medical School, very prestigious school. However, at that time, maybe it was very difficult for him to have high, enough salary from outside. And he was very much obliged to Chisso company, because he came from a remote country, from Tokyo Medical School, that he received enough salary so that he could not resist to company's order. Because maybe in that time human morals also depends on time. We cannot criticize him from today's viewpoint. Maybe it's a little different from Europe, but I think you should. I hope you will understand. Okay? And the other questions, who? Who? 日本人で。Okay. Please ask your question in Japanese or Japanese and in English, both.
Okay, my question is methyl mercury. Maybe they know methyl mercury is a toxin, but they didn't know that. They didn't know this reaction about how to produce methyl mercury. But you already said that they cannot imagine chemical reaction of this compound.
I could not follow exactly. So please repeat in Japanese again. テストカンパニーがメチルマーキュリーを作るケミカル化学反応、日本語が言えないんで、なんだろう、よくわかんなくなっちゃった。テストカンパニーが水銀、わかんない。メチル水銀の製造過程のリアクションの反応がわからなかったのかな。 全くわかんない。
そう。作ってるって 作ってるっていうのが分からなかったから、だからその患者さんとかその細川先生とかが、あなたの会社が原因なんじゃないって言ってもずっと拒否してたのは、そのリアクションが分からなかったのか、それとも隠してたのかっていう。
Yeah, simple question.
Because excuse me, because this is also my question. Because that time I heard that this company is the greatest company related to even imperial family. So it was very important for Japan itself. That's why very great chemist, scientists should be there. Was there? I heard. So such very brilliant scientists. Why they didn't know? Is it really truth or not? Is my question.
Pardon? I couldn't follow exactly.
Great scientists employed by CHIS.
Great, not scientist, but medical doctor? Hosokawa sensei?
No. A worker in CHISO must be elite, a kind of elite, I think.
Workers.
Workers or scientists in CHISO. Staff.
Yeah, staff.
So until what they did know, until what they hide, or they hide nothing, something like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At first, I will answer. Then,
Well, this is related.
related one. Okay.
This is a political question.
Political question.
Her question, Sensei's question, is a political question. Chiso is an elite company, right? The shacho is Masako-san.
Relative.
So, what is the connection between Chiso and the state, and why ignore data?
No, okay. Chiso is not a special company. All Japanese companies, Mitsubishi Kagaku and every companies are privileged in the days, very privileged company. And because Tsusansho, Meiji, always completely supported. So, Chiso is not a special one, but Chiso's most rich company, because very biggest in business and sales, in its sales. And the point is, Chiso did not ignore or hide any data at all, because that means Chiso did not know, did not hide. But at that time, the level of chemical reaction was very low. Yeah. This is 7. Page 7, please. Okay? Okay, sure.
Last year I visited Minamata, and according to my knowledge, what I heard was Chiso was very powerful company, very powerful company.
Powerful?
Yeah, and it has link. I mean, it was helping a lot in the economy of Japan.
Yes.
So that's why it has a very good links with the government officials, high-ranking officials. So the Chiso, even though they knew about the fact that it's gonna cause a huge disaster later, they hide.
Yeah, they. What I meant hide is the data on chemical reaction, data on the activity of machine.
I don't mean the data, but the consequences, what they are after using the chemical and the effect of mercury, later on, to the people living near the Minamata. So they knew the consequences, but they hide the fact, and even the government supported the Chiso company at that time. That's what I...
They resisted to the pressure of compensation, and they didn't know there is such toxic and product different. Do you understand?
No.
You don't understand? You know, what he's saying is, at that time, Chiso company themselves didn't know this toxic and the product, methyl-mercury, came
from their own
their reaction. And after that, of course, they resisted the pressure of the patient.
Once they know from Hosokawa's experiment, then they started to hide it. Only once they have known that they should hide it. Okay?
I'm a little bit confused. You mean that the Chiso
Researcher is applied chemist.
They didn't know that as a result of the chemical production, methyl mercury was being produced?
No. They could not know it.
They didn't know that.
No, because methyl mercury could not be measured at the time. They could not make measurement at all.
And the Russell-Hunter syndrome also officially reported in a public in 1948 something. And that time, as he said, it's just like AIDS cases contaminated by blood. In the scientific report, it was there. But 2 years, 3 years, people were not, even scientists, even medical doctors didn't know there is such toxic virus. So there is a gap. There must be gap between, publication and the knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah.
Actually, they only knew at that time that it was an organic compound related to mercury because of this Hunter-Russell syndrome. But they didn't know exactly it was methyl mercury, and they knew later on.
And medical side know better, of course, because that's poisoning. Because medical doctors suspect first infectious diseases, contagious diseases, but no.
これを
Then poison. And what kind of poison?
このほら最初のこのあれの銃全部のこれかこれじゃなくてなんだっけ大西水俣病のグラフがある。これ11
That's why the patients of Hunter say, degree is the same, and occupational disease. That means direct poisoning. But in order to get the pollution of environment, there's different type of disease. Sorry.
Yeah. I will show the timing. Kumamoto University, very shabby university, professors, medical school of Kumamoto University started to investigate Minamata disease from probably 1957, knowing the occurrence of congenital patients. And they could know after 3 years. 3 years passed after investigation. So here, around 1953, at this time, they could obtain the paper of Hunter-Russell. And Hosokawa Chiso was convinced that they were, their company caused Minamoto disease. They could, Chiso knew that they caused Minamoto disease from Hosokawa's experiment. Since then, whole attitude changed completely. What they did was to hide everything. But until then, they could know nothing about methyl mercury. Okay.
It's okay, correct? They must have very brilliant scientists, engineer.
They must
I don't know. I imagine that the Chiso company
had
yeah.
no.
So
That-
from one chemical reaction, what kind of toxin came and so on, without knowing that, it's a kind of crime. So
Yeah,
is it possible?
yeah, it is scientist viewpoints because it is engineering engineering company or production company. Production company has hire no scientists at all. Only they hire applied chemists, and especially Chiso was a famous company. They hired only graduates from Tokyo University and graduates from Tokyo Institute of Technology. In that sense, they could have highest engineers in Japan, highest chemical chemists. However, their scientific knowledge and capacity were, let me say, very low compared with the difficult scientific problem that they must face with. Yeah. After 50 years, I could face with the problem, but let me say, Japanese applied chemist level was very low. And even in the world, applied chemist level, in especially catalytic reaction, in especially scientific level of applied chemistry is very unbalanced, very unbalanced. What means is when it becomes good business, such branch as congested, brightest applied chemist, so that polymer chemistry, polymers chemistry are very much advanced. However, production of acetaldehyde is very old chemistry, that no applied chemist has enough concern about that. So that even there is the best professor who works in Tokyo Institute of Technology and later turned to Waseda. He wrote a comprehensive book and added the mechanism of catalyst in acetaldehyde production in Chiso. But still, the best, even in best book, nothing is written. And here it is clearly enough mechanism is not known at all. That is available. So I, as a theoretical physicist, I could come to 7っていうのを出してる。7っていうのね。 briefly, here, acetylene combined with water and acetylene, and acetaldehyde is produced by simple reaction. But in order to make this simple reaction, it cannot go straightly, so that the dot line is imagined, only a summary imagined one. Real reaction, actual reaction needs oxidated mercury here. And using this oxidated mercury, it can be turned to acetaldehyde. This simple reaction, and however, this oxidated mercury again oxidizes to acetic acid here. And this is intermediate compound. This intermediate compound, when aided by oxidized mercury, produce this very strange substance, and this strange substance produce methyl mercury here, and at the same time acetic acid here. So such a complicated scheme. Now I could, but no one is interested in this reaction at all, because after Minamoto disease, any research on methyl mercury was completely prohibited in Japanese university, Japanese chemical company. Yet, I was only one chemist, researcher, who investigated with this research, with Akagi-san in Minamata. The point is, Japan, after such a disaster, completely prohibited any research activity of methyl mercury at university. And in chemical company, it is considerable. It can be considered because it's a business organization. But even national university strongly prohibited. No report, even single report, appeared on methyl mercury mechanism. Methyl mercury. That is a point. So I think if you become a journalist or environmental journalist, will please focus on this kind of matter, and please report accurately what had happened. Even after Fukushima disaster, maybe very similar thing is occurring. Strong control of research, especially scientist itself is now is much more science found oriented. So they are not science. Now I can say there's no true scientist. So good scientific work is desperately or becomes impossible. Okay? So please, now the question and my answer is what I wanted to convey to you. That is, people what is happening is what people usually think reasonably. Quite an unreasonable thing. Had happened. And one is that ignorance was caused by poverty. Poverty caused ignorance. Poor, because of the poor. And business or stronghold of state and enterprise, state and business, prohibited, controlled research activity at all. Okay. Then maybe I'll finish my presentation by stating okay, what I am going to comment is page 2. Page 2. And once again, I would like to emphasize that you must be either one of, you must be good expertise in either one of 3 disciplines. That is, one is ecology, toxicology, and physics. And ecology means this kind of thing. Very briefly, coastal ecology, the concept of elements. That is horizontal mobility and vertical. Horizontal mobility is living thing and non-living thing. And living thing is called nekton. And nekton is this is a special word in ecology. Nekton is a fish, and plankton is living one, but cannot move by oneself, so that it drifts by motion of current. And the other kind of important one is benthos, benthic animals, the shrimps, worms, and shellfish. And so, ecology is a rather easy discipline to learn, but it will not help very much as your specialty. But you have to, everyone must have sufficient knowledge of ecology. So, final, in order to estimate the curiousさっきのじゃあ、これをね、11. The final one.じゃなくて、81だ、81. Ah, 81だから。これですね。Yeah, my final item is that how to estimate bay water methyl mercury contents from methyl mercury contents of anchovy. Problem. Please have it in mind. From anchovy concentration to the causal relationship is bay water methyl mercury concentration cause toxification of anchovy. However, we know anchovy concentration from the previous knowledge. Then a reverse. We would like to climb up the causal steps to water contamination. And for that matter, the quite ordinary, usual ecologist specialists do perform experiments in this kind. Plankton specialists make this kind of experiment. They put specified mercury, methyl mercury, into bathtub and culture plankton there. And and after 1 day or 2 days, they measure the concentration of bath water and concentration of plankton. And in that way, they compare the concentration of both. And they conclude concentration factor. Usually concentration factor of plankton is around 20,000 or 30,000, very high, 20,000 higher. However, there is no concentration factor for anchovy. Of course, anchovy, because anchovy usually thinks they take plankton and plankton after methyl mercury from plankton to anchovy. So it is two-step food chain, it is considered. However, there is no enough data. But what is lacking is that what I found is that important thing is I studied his physiology. I studied physiology of anchovy deeply. I could know anchovy have no they have gel, but the action usually fish uses gel in that way. They take their gel gel is membrane, but gel is let me say is body structure, and within gel there is a membrane, and they move gel in that way. What they are doing is in that way they take up water and run through the gel, and so when within the gel there are capillaries, so that water runs through the surface of the capillary, and through the capillary methyl mercury is taken up. This is the usual way of uptake of methyl mercury by fish. However, anchovy is a very small one, and they have no such delicate mechanism. They swim very fast. They take water and discharge water from gill. They do not move gill at all. And so that what they do is take up water, and most important thing, purpose of gill is to take up oxygen from water. But at the same time, anchovy swims fast and runs through, let water through the gill, take up oxygen. At the same time, they they take up plankton in water. And so that uptake of oxygen and uptake of feed plankton occurs on the same motion. That is important. So it's a little delicate, but to have some feeling, please perceive 1 minute, to persevere 1 minute. The point is, methyl mercury is taken, uptake by anchovy occurs both ways. Uptake of plankton and uptake of dissolved methyl mercury in water together with oxygen. Because methyl mercury in water dissolved in water just like oxygen. So the point is, which is methyl mercury in the body of plankton or dissolved oxygen in water, which is greater, is a problem. And I examined. Everything is written on this, so that you can easily know that their uptake of methyl mercury mainly occurs from uptake of dissolved methyl mercury along with oxygen, so that we know how much they take up oxygen. It is well measured. And here, uptake of feed plankton, oxygen, and here, physics of membrane transport, oxygen uptake, okay, the final one. Oxygen uptake is known, 1,500 milligram oxygen per hour per kilogram for oxygen. When oxygen concentration is 10 milligram oxygen per liter. This is a well-defined, well-observed data. And so when we know uptake of anchovy, this was simply known. Uptake of methyl mercury uptake was known, 1 nanogram kilogram per hour. This is oxygen uptake is milligram oxygen per hour per kilogram. One is 1 nanogram kilogram per hour. This is the same dimension, has the same dimension. and it occurs in parallel. It means from comparing these two, because oxygen concentration is known, we can, by proportional calculation, we can easily know the methyl mercury concentration, dissolved methyl mercury concentration in water. That was known for 10 nanogram per liter. So examination, theoretical estimation from here to here requires detailed ecological knowledge. But you can easily follow from my file. It is accurately shown. So what I would like to emphasize is, in this way, we could know the methyl mercury concentration in water, Minamata Bay water at that time. We could observe, we could get the data, which is measured not at all. And so from applying simple diffusion law, it was simply estimated 10 kilogram per year. And this is extraordinary thing.もう一度これを出してください。11. あ、11だから。Okay. Final one. My final. This final I have shown methyl mercury discharge, which is made by theoretical estimation from chemical reaction, and also by this orthodox method estimation shows that methyl mercury discharge is around, for instance, 4 kilogram per year, and the highest one is about 5 or 6 kilogram per year. This is estimation from top, and estimation from bottom. What I emphasized, detail here, is emphasize estimation from bottom gives 10 kilogram per year, as I said. So, in science, it is considered success when both estimation from top to bottom and bottom to top agree roughly, only rough estimation. Top estimation can be carried out year by year. Bottom estimation can be carried out only 1 point. But they agree. So, this is my last message. What I did was theoretical physics was very important, and bird's eye view, because I could do it, because I had bird's eye view. I could do it and I could succeed. So please try to have knowledge as it is not, do not consider knowledge is not computer memory, PC memory. It is quite different, PC memory. It must be workable one, and so it must consist of bird's eye view, magnified view, and direct view. Okay, this is my message for my lecture. Okay. Okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a very general question.
A general question?
From your experience of this working over this disease for decades, what is your opinion regarding this disease? Because the first victims were identified in 1956. And from 1956 until now, so many victims are enduring endless pain, and some have lost their lives. And yet, the company has not yet paid remarkable amount of, compensation to many of the victims, because there are so many reasons. We have
so many what?
So many reasons behind it, like the criteria and so on and so on. So, generally speaking, from your experience on this disease, working on this disease, on this research, what is your opinion? Why this disease why this problem has not been completely solved until now? What is the reason behind it to take this much long time? Could you get me? What do you think is the main reason? Of course, the criteria and so on, the economy on one side, people on the other side, even the government and the company has suffered. I understand that, but I couldn't understand why why it took this much long time, and I'm afraid that it may take hundreds and hundreds of years unresolved, because environmental problems are not so easy to handle, because whenever we human beings interfere upon the environment, it's extremely difficult to bring it back to its original state once we interfere on the environment. But in this case, the environment is polluted, yes, and it has resulted adverse negative impacts on the ecosystem and also on the human beings. So I'm really confused about the complexity of the problem and why it is taking this much long time for the government, for the company, and for the people. Because I was almost crying when I saw the first video last time when Sensei has shown us. It's my first experience to see how the victims were, anyhow. What's your opinion or what's your idea about why it is not yet resolved until now? Thank you.
My question is, what is your opinion? That is my question. This kind of question must be answered by each. Why you ask me this question? Because my lecture, what I concentrated, is not on Minamata disease, but maybe I told you important attitude, because I'm a scientist, because so motivation, I worked on this problem for so many years, is based on my sympathy to patients. But I do not want to simply answer to this question. Maybe this kind of question must be answered by each. Do not ask opinion by authority. Because it is not, there is no scientific answer for this kind of question. Why? So, generally speaking, we never ask youth why. Always, you should ask how. How it took so many long years. So that your question was very good for them. It took why, how. I answered how it took 3 years to arrive at right answer to Hunter Russell paper. So if we can ask why, there is only fruitless arguments only. One cannot arrive at unanimous answer. Only if you try to explore how it took, what happened at that time. In very specific question, if it is a very specific question, I can answer. Okay? That is my attitude. Especially in Fukushima case, it is also true. Yeah, your question, take up a very specific case, then I can answer. Generally, why it took so much time? But too general to give answer, fruitful answer. Excuse me, but this is my. Then can you answer? Can you ask you why do you think it's? So please state your personal opinion about that.
From my own point, from my understanding, because I'm studying environmental science, and I don't know, it's really complex for me. That's why I raised the question, you know. But I can see a kind of compromising between the environment and economy and human life. I see this kind of compromising, and human beings are part of the environment.
Yeah, let me say that scientists usually do not use two general terminology: human beings, economy, environment. Always, in that case, we cannot answer or come to some agreement in discussion. If we discuss a specific problem with showing data, showing accurate discussion or quantitative discussion, then maybe we can come. However, too vague idea cannot be items of discussion. So that I usually stand apart. Always, if your question is a very specific one, I always try to answer. So maybe, but if you have not your opinion, then if you heard about, you heard my opinion, you will soon believe it. But because that is, this environmental problem always involves political question, and sometimes religious question, and there is of course, much more is behind, in this kind of discussion, there is a huge influence of money. For instance, in global climate problem, there is a huge amount of money is behind the discussion. So we cannot complete, and compromise is not so easy. And compromise, yeah, my point is, in science, in scientific knowledge, most words are phantoms, which does not exist. Environment, there is no specific thing exists, but general thing does not exist. And compromise, imagine, but compromise, humanity, religion, and something like that can be conceived, but cannot be a scientific discussion. Here, I do not insist on science, but in order to make meaningful and friendly discussion. Otherwise, if we give only on words, it makes the relation among people worse and worse. Because politically, so that we must deliberately stand away from too general question. If we discuss it specifically by point, then we can arrive at. So that I try to present such results. Okay. But your question is very important one. But maybe it will become quite immemorable for a student. Any other questions? Okay.
I'm very intrigued about the method that you used in your research, in particular the reverse estimation. Before, I had very little knowledge about theoretical physics, and I thought that theoretical physics could only predict the future, but it's my first time to encounter theoretical physics used to go back in time and discover what happened before. So my question is, are there other studies or disaster like this one where they also used reverse estimation that you could possibly tell us and we could study? Because I'm focused more on the method that you used.
Yeah. Very, very good question. Very good one. Maybe I think I have a lot. So maybe please contact me. Basing on your own interest. I'm sure I can give you good suggestions. Yes, so that please contact me. Okay? Any other question? Okay.
More than a question, it's just a curiosity. It was, now you mentioned about the anchovy physiology, right? Nowadays it's better known the effect of methyl mercury in the brain system, right? In the right, in human beings, right? In human beings, because it crosses the blood-brain barrier.
But yes.
You know, all the effects are better known now. But I was wondering, it just popped out now. I was just wondering why the methyl mercury doesn't have any effect on fish. right? Do they have any? I'm totally ignorant about fish physiology, right? I don't know about the central nervous system or whatever. If,
The amount of fish.
really?
Yes, fishermen knew already before occurring the disease.
Right.
The number of fish decreased.
Okay.
Then that crazy cells appear. Then
Oh, they have then the same effect.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not a specialist of fish.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the amount of fish decreased before already.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
let me comment. Because it is not so simple problem. Yeah, because I studied this.
Right.
Because,
I was just a matter of time. Probably the fish that were being
decrease occurs as contamination of bay water. But the contamination is mostly occurs by organic substance. The most severe contamination which cause fish death is anoxic condition, depletion of oxygen in basic water is a cause of death of fish. That is so. Usually people confuse. Every contamination occurs simultaneously. However, the most serious one is anoxic condition, depletion of oxygen because of too much organic material in the sediment. It soon immediately kills fish. But for instance, if it were methyl mercury, it will take a few months. But anoxic condition will kill in a couple of days an enormous amount of fish. So, excuse me, but it is true. Yeah, but
I heard also fish were not affected, but there was evidence that I don't know. This is not my scientific.
So probably the people who were affected by Minamata disease just ate the fish who were in the process to die because of Minamata disease, because of the toxicity of this mercury.
Yeah, so, because Harada Sensei has not expertise in any of ecology or toxicity. So, on this matter, he is not authority to be relied on. I can say definitely, because I have a good relation with Harada Sensei. He was he was Jesus, just Jesus. He helped patients greatly, but he not in scientific way. But so, I can definitely say, decline of fishes caused by methyl mercury is not scientifically true. It is only fancy. Fish specialists, fishery specialists, almost all agrees with that. Yeah, so if the matter is on specific, we can express quite opposite opinion. But this will not make the human relations work bad, because it is later on each side can check the matter. So that please remember that what I said is Harada Sensei had not enough knowledge or understanding about the ecology of fishes in the bay.
I think the sense of laymen, not specialists, ordinary people who are fishermen, had such how can I say, direct sense, something strange is happening, white fish is sometimes not healthy, and catch white baby. That kind of sense is very important. And Harada Sensei said clearly that this must be considered very well. Do you understand? Not always scientific, based on scientific, something, some sense of people who are living on the other side is very important. That's why frustration, I read that the fishermen already knew it. Something strange is happening. In 1950 or something. And a journalist of Kumamoto Nishimura started to write an article in Yamata City. There is a crazy cat, but just finished that. It didn't continue. Journalist didn't follow legally.
It is because he was in Yamata, poor town, small town, Kyushu.
Yeah, there already discrimination, infectious diseases, people didn't want to touch.
Yes, that is important. People in Minamata didn't to disclose it widely because such information deteriorate the community. I see.
Because when they discharge the little mercury into the baby, the water, of course, there's the sludge, yes, still occur at the moment, but I'm not sure if now clean already all. Because I'm not sure at the moment the sludge, already clean. Already, I'm not sure. Maybe still already have. Yes, it's the first. Yes or no? And the second, Sensei, in this paper, Sensei. Yes. Sensei just say that and coffee on during the respiration, they will be take water. Yes, and also they just only eat zooplankton. But how about the phytoplankton and bentoplankton and the necton plankton? And coffee will be eat this also or just zooplankton?
Zooplankton?
Yes.
Zooplankton.
And how about the necton? Yes, necton and phytoplankton.
Phytoplankton. And the question is how each of them take up necessary mercury.
Yes, and coffee will be eat all of those plankton or only one? Yes, only one or yes. So, did Sensei get the point?
The zooplankton will be the effect on
yes. This Sensei. This is zooplankton. This is necton, and this is the anchovy only eat.
Anchovy.
Anchovy. Anchovy.
Anchovy.
Anchovy. Anchovy just eat.
Anchovy is necton.
Yes.
Necton.
Oh.
Anchovy is quite a group name. Always ecology is quite different from biology. Only use not specific name but general name to all fishings, all living matter which can move their own forces is called necton in ecology. So that for that matter, maybe you should learn very basic principle of ecology. Any other question? Oh, yeah, of course. No. So that, of course, this handout contains rather detailed material as a text, so that you can read and understand. So that if you need further information, because I have a complete translation of science of Minamata disease, so that please contact me. I'll send you immediately. Okay? So that please do not hesitate. Contact me, Wakatsuki Sensei. She will teach you my homepage, my email address, and everything. If you'd like to have an email, I'll give you my name card just now. Okay.
Now, give them title of report.
Yeah, report. Please write what you impressed most, what you are impressed most in my lecture. Yeah, items. Please. Items. Yeah.
My lecture?
No. What you are impressed in my lecture. What you are impressed in my lecture. Stated by item. Raise one or two items and explain it by your word.
When you were a university student, what's your major?
Major? I'm, in a sense, a theoretical physicist. So, theoretical physicist measures everything. So that my system engineering and ecology and immunology and everything necessary. Yeah. Yes.
So, the time passed very much. So, let's finish this lecture and thank again to Nishimura Sensei. He came and he made big effort to teach you as much as possible about Minamata diseases, and based on his very rich experiences as scientist on Minamata disease. Thank you again.
Yeah, please contact me if you need further information. Okay.